Welcome everyone to horse tutorial. I've decided to make this video because I see so many horsemen just wandering around not knowing what to do, so I'm gonna be covering everything I know about horses and showing you some clips as the example, as well as teaching you some tricks to make your horse gameplay a lot easier. So let's get into the basics. Before you deploy with your cavalry unit, you have two choices. You can either use cavalry sword and you can use lance. Of course, you want to choose cavalry lance as it gives you much more benefits. I'm gonna be covering lance and its tricks in a minute, but at this point you just want to take lance over sword any day of the week. When you deploy with your cavalry unit, you are given the melee of your choice, whether it is lance or the sword. You are given rifle, which has 5 shots in it and 10 as the backup rounds. You are given 1 ammo pouch and 1 healing bandage. The game also gives you 2 grenades, about which we will talk about later in the video. After throwing both nades, it will start replenishing after you throw the last nade, so never keep 1 grenade in your hand. It takes around 12 to 13 seconds to refill your grenades as well as your ammo. As you can see on the clip, it's not being reloaded by the ammo pouch, so you will have to wait 12 to 13 seconds to get 1 clip of ammo as well as the nades. Healing pouches can heal you to the max HP unless you take damage, which will stop your healing process. It doesn't happen really often, but you can be out of ammo while on the horseback, so watch out. Do not spray those bullets like there is no tomorrow, you might be caught in off guard. As you can see on the clip of the background, I ran out of ammo and I was sitting duck. Thanks God it was just a sniper. If it was the telescopic guy, it would have vaporized me, so watch out for those situations. In this case I could defend myself by nades, which wasn't really successful, but still. As I already mentioned, you have 2 choices in melee weaponry. Of course, you want to choose lance as it gives you much more reach and its hitbox stays active for so long. Simply there is no benefit which sword can give you over the lance. Maybe it can strike more often, but the rest is just not worth it in my opinion. And right now we're gonna break down everything I know about lances, show it some hitboxes and stuff like that, so let's get started. The first thing I want to mention is that as soon as you press the striking button, the hitbox of the melee attack will stay active no matter what's gonna happen. Even if you jump or you do stop, it's gonna stay there for the amount of time which would take it to strike normally. On this clip I just press the striking button and my animation does not play at all, but I still get the kill. That's what I mean by the hitbox stays there no matter what. This takes me to my next tip, which is to always use your left shoulder strike, which can be accessed by pressing C. It toggles your camera to the left side, which not only improve your visibility, also is much less predictable. In the horse head-on fight you always want to use left shoulder strike. There are some exceptions, of course, but most of the time you want to be using left shoulder, as the enemy will most likely try to avoid you on left side. And also, horses just go straight with their default camera view, which always get them killed, at least in my case, so always try to use left shoulder strike.
We control all objectives.
If you saw on this clip, I just tapped S to stop my horse, or at least slow down so I can curve easier, and get the nice angle on the enemy. And this brings me to my next tip, which is not to run all the time. Try to get used to stopping. Of course, most of the time you want to be running, but when you pass enemy or you miss them somehow, you don't panic, you don't do anything else. Just stop and curve around. When you stop, enemy is the one who panics, and you just get an easy kill. So that's what I did in this clip. I just slowed down. If I did not, enemy would get inside cuts on me. And I got the clean kill with left shoulder strike. Curving can be used as not only getting enemy which you missed, but also get around the objects easier. That's what I did in this clip. If I kept straight, I would have jumped over those logs and I would not be able to get that scout. I just tap S. When I get straight line towards the enemy, I just run again and get those guys quite easily. Apart from slowing down, you can also stop moving completely. This will increase your vulnerability in the open field where so many enemies looking at you, but in this clip that guy was oblivious. That guy had no clue I was behind him, so instead of running around I just stopped completely, got my horse nose straight towards him and ran him over. So it takes some use to get this into the muscle memory, but after some time you can do this without even thinking. It gets muscle memory. So on this clip I just want to get into it a little bit more, because the guy I lens here on the horseback, I saw him using the left shoulder strike, so I know he can do the trick with left shoulder. So thing I decided here is to pretend I'm going to his left shoulder, but I actually do with the basic attack, because if I did not do it we would have killed each other. And then I execute this curving method which we discussed just now, and that's it. When the curving really comes into play is when you have a horse fight. In this clip I know this guy is a decent horseman with lance,
I wounded the
so
horse a lot.
I can't really go straight at him. I just need to trick him somehow. And what's the best way other than getting inside cut when he has nothing to kill me with? There is no way we can end up killing each other. And if he does not do same, it's gonna be still hard for him to keep up with it. So I decide to stop, wait for nades to explode, then I get an inside cut and lance him out of the horseback. When you're playing cavalry, especially the lance or any melee, the minimap gets really big attention. You need to look at the minimap half of your time. You need to know where the enemy are. And in this clip I see horse and I get ready to kill him, as well as I start striking before I see him, because I saw him on the minimap because he was coming straight at me. And like this I got clean kill on him without him even knowing that I was there. So pay attention to the minimap, put its size at least on 125%, which will help you a lot tracking your enemies on the close quarter areas, and you will also see some objects and you will be more aware on which you can vault and where do you want to go. The case in which lance excels is blind strikes, or when you don't have eye on your target but you can still kill him without any problem. This is what I call striking blindly, and blind strike. It's basically if you think there is a guy behind this cover, behind this corner, or crouching behind the wall, you can pretty much strike before you jump or before you go around this corner, and your animation will stay there, or your hitbox if your animation does not keep up with it, and you still get the kill. like in this clip, I know there's a guy there because
Okay,
that support guy was
arty truck.
shooting me and I know he's
Left
desperate to
flank.
kill me. So the thing I do here is to prepare for the lens blindly charge, and I go straight at that corner, and as I'm about to get there I strike. That guy eventually pushes and gets himself killed, and then this guy is unlucky because he didn't do anything about me and he died without even animation being played.
The fucking.
Let's see one more clip with same case. In this clip I missed this guy like a dummy, but I saw the medic going behind the wall just to take cover from me. But I know for a fact he wouldn't go prone because why would he? He had the cover from me anyway, so... as I'm about to jump, I press striking animation and I know that guy will die because my hitbox will stay active for so long. One more important trick to take into account is to try to get your enemy alone and get them one by one. The thing I mean by this is to wait for them to get
I mean, they are not really.
easy target and then
Okay, he left.
go out and kill them, just like Wolf does or any other predator. So in this clip right here I get over the dune
they are not
where
really.
he has no line of sight and he has to
Okay, he
move to
left
see me
the
or
last
get to me, and I go out when I am at the safe distance and I see he's alone, he has no any reinforcements, and I get the easy kill.
Don't really know what I'm doing.
It's a good vehicle.
Yeah, I need to practice on it.
See an enemy scout? Off we go. Moving, Cell.
In the beginning of the video I mentioned that you also have the rifle, and this is really helpful tool to have at your disposal. The biggest advice I can give you while playing cavalry is to do not main either of them. Just be playing 50-50 lance and rifle. So maybe you ask, where do I use rifle and where do I use lance? The rule of thumb is use lance on oblivious targets or in open areas where enemy cannot really dodge you, and in areas where you can't really get close to your enemy or there are some 80 rocket guys waiting for you. That's when the rifle comes in clutch.
I'm looking. Enemy machine gun.
In this clip right here, I'm mainly using rifle because I'm waiting for people to be on the rooftops, but right here I see those guys lined up perfectly, and rifle is not such a best choice I can get here because I can pick these people without any problem, which I end up doing. So this is one of the cases you want lance over the rifle. So in this clip I was using rifle mainly, but I saw horse charging delta and I decided to go with lance. I found the assault guy which went prone and I've decided to switch to the rifle as engaging with lance wouldn't be such a great idea because he can just 80 rocket gun me. So I stick with the rifle in this scenario. I was just dancing around because this area is much open than the town area, but I saw some guys spawning next to the trenches and I've decided to distract them with the nades first and then switch to rifle to pick them off safely, because if I go there I know for sure I'm gonna get stuck in a trench and it's not the place to be less mobile.
Okay.
So back to using rifle again. The main trick to be successful with rifle is to know how to stop and when to stop, and also when to shoot, if it makes any sense. One trick is to mimic the enemy movement, so you go with the same speed as the enemy and you shoot them without much of a leading. And one more thing is to go in a straight line, like I do it here, and I'm able to get this kill without any problem, without any leading. The thing to remember here is to never go perpendicular to your enemy, as it is hard to hit, and that's when you need to stop moving and shoot. So you may ask, how do I stop that fast? I made a motion. Well, you just press shift. I forgot to mention in the beginning that pressing shift one time makes running toggled, and you run until you press shift again. This is the feature from the default game, and for stopping you press shift. The running toggles off, then you press the opposed key from the direction where you were going or where you were aiming at right now. Let's say I'm going straight and I'm aiming straight too. I press S and I stop immediately after pressing shift, and then you are stopped, you are motionless, and you can shoot at the enemy without any problem. Here we see one of the best horsemen, if not the best, Ubi, who perfectly executes this stop movement, and you can see as he's about to take a shot, he's stopping right here. You can see perfectly what I mean, right? So before he takes a shot, he just before he takes a shot, he always stops, so it's easier to hit the target. I'm coming. Maybe I can.
Okay, cleared it up.
Maybe playing conform. I receive. Ooh. So yeah, as you saw, the nades you're given are actually light anti-tank grenades, which can be so helpful at fighting other vehicles and defending yourself in general. The thing to keep in mind with these grenades is they don't explode after hitting the ground or anything like that. They have fuse time and they explode after some time. They can also explode in the air and be same as airburst things. They also explode after hitting any kind of vehicle or stationary surface. Even the horses are vulnerable to nades. So hitting a couple of grenades on the horse and then finishing off with the rifle is the pretty common tactic among the horsemen. I'll say here that like landing two nades on the horse kills him right away. So always try to nade the horse or get him close to you so you can safely nade it. Let's talk about how to use nades properly. Nades are pretty nice defensive tools you have. Also you can use it as an offensive tool, but as a defense it's really good as you've emptied your magazine or you are on your retreat after a melee streak. It's best thing to toss some nades out and get out safely. That's what we are seeing in this clip from Ubi. He emptied his magazine after getting some kills, then he tossed out a couple of grenades. You might not always find the kill, but in this case he also got kills. So this is one of the best ways to use the nade properly. In this scenario right here, I take out this support guy quite easily. But I can't quite kill this guy, I missed like a dummy here, but I can toss a couple of nades next to him, so he has to move, and where else he would move other than opposite side, so that's also a pretty good way to use nades, just to disorient them and get them where you want them to be.
Oh no, there's way too many.
The same happened in this clip too. I tried to defend myself against this 80 rocket guy, who is way too slow to react to my nades, and he gets himself killed. But you get the general idea, you just toss those nades at them and they either stop shooting at you or you get easy kill. And remember to not to waste nades on moving target or target we can kill easy with melee or rifle. Just go with people who are prone or less maneuverable, like there is a guy prone, you have definitely throw nades at him. I'll play this in a slow motion, as I want to get into it, because I saw this prone 80 rocket guy, and I decided to throw nades at him, and I also know there is a guy behind the smoke who can easily avoid me, or avoid those nades. So I throw nades at the 80 rocket guy, and I go for the guy who's trying to run. This is the situation where the nades played crucial role to retreat safely from these people shooting at me. First I take out a couple of guys with the rifle, and then I see I have only one bullet which I waste without getting any kills, and I know this guy will be desperate to shoot me with anything he has, so I throw some nades at him, which is not enough to kill him, but it's certainly enough to distract him and stop shooting at me. He also takes some damage and probably goes to the cover, so this is the way you want to using nades when you want to retreat. This is the clip where I could not shoot while jumping from horseback. This is the general thing, so I decided to throw a couple of grenades at those two guys hiding in a pretty safe spot from the horse, I gotta say. And actually nades made them leave their safe spot. You can also use nades while being chased by other cavalry, not to throw at them, but to throw on the grounds under you. What this does is to throw the enemy off your tail, to shake him, and this guy made it quite successfully, but he blundered by jumping over the stationary, which brings me to my next tip. Be careful of these bad boys, dude. These things can kill you like there is no tomorrow. If not kill, they will take big chunk of your health. Like just getting close to them, just avoid empty stationaries and empty vehicles. Just avoid it, believe me. So that was it for my horse tutorial, and this was everything I could say
Nice kill,
or
next
I
up.
could fit in this video, as there is so much to talk about horses and cavalry in general, which you can't simply fit in one video. So I hope you enjoyed, you learned something new, and if you have any question or any doubts, you can tell me down in the comments so I can answer or try to get into discussion, as well as if you want to tell me how you use horse or share your opinion and your playstyle, please feel free to leave down in the comments. I will link Ube's channel down in the description. He's an amazing horseman, he makes great videos, so thanks for watching, see you in the next video, peace.